All right, this is the Tilton Northfield Fire District Commissioners Meeting. It is October 14th, 2023. We're at the Tilton Town Hall downstairs meeting room. In attendance, I'm sorry?
What year is it?
2025? What did I say?
2023.
I'm sorry, it's 2025, thank you.
It's making a comeback.
It is.
Present include the commissioners, all the chiefs, Kathy, and from the building committee we have Paul Blaisdell and Kevin Waldron. Public comment. Do we have any public comment we want to start with? All right, I'm going to move on. Correspondence. Lauren has resigned
That was effective
last Friday. We had a brief chat about that.
Yep. I gave in your packet is options, but I posted the job today, and we decided just to keep it as is, not try to expand the hours or anything.
So you posted it for a part-time, 25 hours.
Yes.
Let's see what we got.
Do we need a motion to accept? I mean, we're kind of past that. I mean, she left, so is it on here because you need to accept it and document
It was
or-
on there in case we wanted to. We need to accept her resignation.
Yeah, I mean, it's it's almost
No,
moot,
it
but
was just a notification,
Yeah.
that's all, to remind you that she had
Yeah.
given her notice and
And we wanted it on there in case you wanted to talk about
no,
changing that position.
So noted and so missed. So
All right, you'll keep us apprised. When's the closing date for that?
October 31st, so that's a Friday, so a couple weeks away.
And the resumes are coming in fast and furious already.
Not yet. It'll be in the Laconia Daily Sun starting Thursday, I think, the 16th, whatever day that is.
Thursday.
you can all apply.
There you go.
And it's on the state website. And I sent it to Indeed. I don't know if it's on there or not.
All right, perfect. New ambulance emails. There's
Sure.
nothing new there. We've been
Well,
seeing those.
Yeah, the latest version from the one that we've already ordered is that theoretically to be here in June of next year. That's the latest update, so it's way better than December. I guess hopefully my barbing at them helped push it up. I don't know if it's still liable to change, they say. And the other thing on that is that we received a quote for a new ambulance, and I was wondering if the commissioners would think it would be all right for us to order that ambulance now to get it in the queue. And
And they're estimating that earliest that would arrive would be in 2029.
2029.
I'd like to. I should have asked for you to bring it. The capital improvement spreadsheet with
Sure.
all the vehicles on it.
So I kind of know that off the top of my head on when the ambulances were ordered and when they're due. So the oldest ambulance we have is a 2017. That's A1. The next ambulance we have is A2, which is a 2022. Then the one that's coming, theoretically next year, will probably be a 2026, I would imagine.
Maybe. Hopefully.
Hopefully, yeah. And then the one after that would be in 2029.
So
That tightens up our 5-year window to more than 4 years going forward, but we are way more busier than we have been. And I think maybe 4 years is more a realistic number on ambulance cycling.
and we were originally talking about trying to get 10 years out of them, and then we went to 9. So the 2026 would be 9 years.
Yeah.
Well, off of 17, it's 8, but that's a rough.
I suppose it depends when it shows up.
Yeah.
You gotta remember that we're gonna have 3 now.
Right.
So then you can kind of maneuver around, so they should last longer, I would think.
Well, and we're buying the heavier
Yeah,
trucks,
Not deaf.
non-deaf.
The newer one, and any one going forward, as far as I'm concerned, would be non-deaf, would be gasoline.
Gasser, yeah.
Yeah,
But that's only a 7 model year difference on A2.
yes.
I don't know, I'm thinking it's a little premature.
I think so too.
But can we have that updated, or the latest version of that equipment?
Yep.
And, like to review that at some point?
I would be hard to press to think we'd get it early. In 3 years from now, we don't know. If we get it on the books, try to order it, it's better than not having it on. You know what I mean? It's like, it's a 6, 7, 8 year, I mean, we throw all these numbers around, but if we were crossing our fingers for 29 and the world goes sideways,
Yeah.
it could be 30.
Well, I'm also concerned about, we're gonna go to district meeting and, potentially ask for another ambulance. We haven't even gotten the one that we're waiting for. And maybe, maybe that's a selling point, but maybe that's also
It's not us, it's not anybody in the room, it's the industry is kind of killing us.
Well, and I was kind of disappointed though in reading those correspondence. It's just, well, that's just the way things are.
Yeah.
Well, then maybe we ought to see if we can get another company to build this one.
It's
And
not-
I realize
yeah.
this is the quality of the one
And they all
everything
own
else.
each other now, it's like
It's not getting another company, they're all owned by the same venture capitalist group. It's called the Rev Group, and they own all the ambulance manufacturers. So they can predict how the ambulances are built. What they've also done is bought all the companies that supply the parts that make these ambulances and fire trucks.
Sounds like a monopoly to me.
Well,
It's getting a little
there's
weird.
Senate hearings on it
Yeah.
now because of the monopoly, and they're actually touting this to their other investors, saying we have a 3-year, $60-something billion backlog of orders, so that they can get more investors into their group. So it's a real they have us by the shot hairs, as my father would say.
Yeah, I know. It's-
And if we order it, they don't care if we buy it,
But, well, that
That's
was
the
my
whole-
next point, it's like,
because they said if
the-
you don't,
the-
you don't take it,
if we don't, there's 10 other towns that are gonna jump on this thing and, like you tried to get a demo floor model,
yeah.
and the constraints were so tight on that.
Is there any money involved in it if we do order it?
No, it's just signing a contract, and that's,
In the contract, does say, we could back out if we want.
yes, we always have a clause saying that if we don't want to, we can just not buy it. And they don't care.
Yeah.
That's the
Oh, yeah, that's the
That's the
beauty
funny
of it.
thing about
Yeah.
it.
I know, right, tough year.
Well, yeah, and, do we have to,
You don't even have to appropriate the money this year, because it's not coming for years. You could appropriate the money next year, or even the year after that.
I want to talk some more about that. I want to see the, I want to see the updated list. I want to see the mileage.
Okay.
Current mileage on the vehicles.
It's worth a conversation and to be able to say, listen, we're looking ahead.
Right.
We're not reactive. If we're looking 3 years out on something, 4, 25 to 29, even 26 to 29, and try to lock in a price before, because price is always going to go up.
This quote that they sent over, does it have an expiration?
I think 60 days or something. I'd have to look at it again, but it's in that ballpark.
I don't see it on here, but maybe I missed it.
No, I don't see an expiration on it, but I'm sure there is. Cause he called me, Dick Lewis, a salesman, he called and said, after the last Wednesday meeting last week, he said, did they discuss that and did they authorize you to order it? And since we're discussing it next week, I'll call you after next week's
Yeah.
meeting.
But the original contract, that did have a completion date in it, correct?
Yeah, the one that we're waiting for right now?
Yes.
Yes.
April.
No later than April of 2026.
This one doesn't say that. There's no
No.
expiration date.
Of course not, because they blew it.
Well, and it says 2028.
That's the chassis.
So any other comment on that? Any other? So Chief, you provide us that information, put it on the agenda for next month, if you would. Alright, I'm gonna move along, is that right?
Are we still in consideration of a warrant article for this? Given the window, or?
Well, it's a whole nother topic, because obviously you don't have to allocate the money for it, but you would want to, encumber the money, so
Okay.
people know that you're doing it.
Alright, well.
So, yeah, alright. If you think way too long, we won't be able to put a warrant article together.
Doesn't take long.
You know the date on top of your head, but
It's like the first week in January that they go in,
alright,
so.
alright. Any other? I'm gonna keep moving on unless somebody wants to slow me down. I got an email from Paul Bowser. Everybody saw that. Again, it's in reference to social media posting. I guess my reply would be something along the lines of what we did last time we had this type of occurrence, which was at tonight's meeting of the Tilton Northfield Board of Commissioners, we reviewed the email where you reference interactions of social media with Mr. Waldron. The Tilton Northfield Fire District is fortunate to be staffed by highly trained, professional, and dedicated firefighters who represent the highest standards in both their personal and professional lives. Mr. Waldron is not employed by the fire district, nor is he an elected official of the fire district. As for Mr. Waldron's action on social media platforms, if you or anyone else is being threatened, you should seek assistance from your local police department. That's how I would suggest we handle it.
Yeah.
Alright, I will forward that to you, so you can send that out. Alright. Building committee report. So, I asked the building committee to come because, we're starting to get starting to get close on the, final project, the numbers, and so I sent the PowerPoint presentation to the other commissioners so they could see it. And I guess my concern is that I don't think we as a board, and I want to, have the conversation, and I want to invite you to provide your thoughts. We're very concerned about the cost and coming before the taxpayers with a project of that cost. Would that be fair to say?
I think so. I think it's, well,
PowerPoint's a little thick to begin with, but I went to that meeting.
So before, I don't know if you want to add anything, but I'll continue if you want.
Please.
Okay. So the commissioners came up with a charge that we presented to the building committee. The building committee has diligently moved forward with a project that meets the charge, meets the needs within that charge. And I think most would agree that they have achieved the requested goal. The problem, as I see it, is the cost. I don't think a lot of us thought it was going to be anywhere near that expensive, or hoped that it was going to be that high of a price. And I don't think that we can go before the taxpayers at that price point, no matter how nice the station is, or how well it meets the needs, and expect a positive vote on it. So, before we get there, I wanted to have this conversation as to, how can we provide more direction to the building committee at this point? What should that direction be, if anything? Because, they're planning public outreach. Herrera's putting together props for that public outreach and sending out invitations for that outreach.
Couple things. Gone through this with sewer projects, and the language, I believe, is a bid alternate. Is there a possibility of a bid alternate, 2 less bays at exit 20, and a model for Park Street that's not attached to the garage? I remember hearing a voice in my ear when we went to some other meetings where they said the choices. Can there be a choice where we put 2 less bays in exit 20 and have a building that houses staffs and admins on Park Street and leaves the garage as it's not attached? Because I know when we attach, then all kind of goes out the window as far as code, and we could get to a point where we can get and again, this is like a 6 to 8 year build at Park Street, and then say, oh geez, we gotta do something with the garage after.
And are you thinking that if you were able to go down that road,
I
the
feel-
price point would be low enough
I
that
feel
we still could
that
bring
might
that?
be more saleable. Listen, I got on the first budget committee 20-something years ago when it started, and the plan was we were going to put a little money in the bank each year to build a bunkhouse. We were going to build,
Something.
the capacity at Park Street to house staff. Now, we're talking about trying to build a substation, exit 20, and have the admin and headquarters at Park Street. Is there an opportunity where we can accomplish those things without knocking down the building that's at Park Street at the present time? That, you don't get into this, I get the charge, I get what we asked for, and it's like you get down the road and go, oh shit, right? You kind of get to this moment where you, call Tom! Good to see you, sir.
Good to be seen.
Yeah, better than viewed, right?
Yeah.
All right. Where, does it let off the gas a little where we can say, hey, listen, this is an option where we, have a great building down at Park Street that's not connected, that doesn't screw up the garage, because that's an expensive tear down, expensive site work, expense for, the connectivity and the code and all that. I don't know enough about the problems that are at Park Street to say it's got to go, but can we, we've always kicked the can down the road. It's like, can we get something and live with it? Or, I don't know. And, I guess I'd ask I hate to tear down a building that's, you know, keeping a roof over the trucks. If it's, you know what I mean?
You could always, I mean, we never did that, maybe 10 years down the road, you could always add on to what you already got.
Right.
And tear that down.
Yeah, and when we built the PD in Tilton, I was the guy that hated to ask for things and say, listen, can we build a building that's gonna do us for 50 years and not have to ask for renovations or additions? But in this case, there's a roof over the trucks, it would help in the transition from what we're doing. You know, that's where my uncertainty comes in, is do we need to truly get rid of that building? And to keep it, could we do something that transitions us? That's kind of where I left off.
Yeah, and I think there's a lot of that thought out there. And I think from the other vantage point, what's an acceptable dollar amount that we think could pass?
Right.
Or what is that dollar amount? So even if you were to do those changes, can you get to that dollar amount? And what is that dollar amount?
Right.
But the additional concern is we're almost into November.
Yep.
And you can't have a warrant that has A and B. You're not going to give people options. Now is the time for the options.
Well, the
before you
public
get to
hearing
district.
is really where you're going to get it.
Can we have, what's the ability to have that type of data in a month?
Well, I know neither one of us want to interject into the conversation that you gentlemen are having. I'll speak for myself. What I want to do is hear your opinions and then express mine. Now, if you're opening the conversation you're having to us, then I'll jump right in.
I think we are, because
and I sat at one meeting, and you've been in most of them, and you're the ex officio. Is exit 20 too big, just right? What's the climate on? Is that too many bay? Listen, you're the guy that told me that the bay space is the least expensive out of everything to be had. Do we want 50 or 100 years out of bays? Me, I don't think bay space is like huge money. I mean, but it's a big number when you get what is taking a couple of bays and going with a 4-bay? What's that cost? 7.9 million instead of 8, or 6.5. I mean, right?
Right.
That's the thing. It's like.
Well, we have some of those numbers. We had railroad price out the difference between 6 bays at Sanborn Road and 4 bays.
Yeah.
And those 2 additional bays, they quoted at $1 million. And we voted as a building committee as to whether we wanted to have 6 bays with that added cost, or if 4 bays was sufficient. And I recall there being some comments that $1 million is not going to make or break the project. Now, that's not my opinion. My opinion is I was fighting tooth and nail for every square foot along the way. $1 million to me would make or break the project.
Right.
So, but as a committee, we voted to approve the design with 6 bays.
Can I just follow up one more thing? Maybe I should ask the chief. We're at $21 million, and then last time we were together, we were talking about what the upfit costs were going to be, and the
FFE and
FFE and
Clerk of the Works.
Clerk of the Works, and the increases in utilities, and the inspections and permitting and all that. Do we have any sense as to how much?
So, been working on those numbers. I haven't received the numbers from Lorero on the new operating costs for the buildings, the proposed buildings. So I don't know what that is, but I'm guessing it's like in 3 sections. There's the operating costs of the building and the current operating costs. It was in the email I sent out today. I don't remember what it said. What it was, $24,000 about for operating both buildings. I don't know what the new costs are going to be, but both, certainly bigger. Both buildings are bigger, and but at the same time they'll probably be more efficient. But I expect it'll cost somewhat more.
What's FFE going to cost?
FFE isn't going to be that much. It's mostly just furniture they're looking for. All the equipment, generally, we have. I'm guessing. I don't know what furniture costs though. I mean, you're going to need, several desks, some chairs, and conference room stuff, and.
Well, I was just trying to figure. We've got. If you look at the pricing that they've given us so far, we're at $21 million, and then if you add another, I didn't know what that number was, another 500,000.
I think it's less than that, much less than that.
No, all right. So then, what's the acceptable? Not acceptable. What's the number that we think would pass at district meeting? And if is that $15 million? Well, now we have to, we have to cut out $6 or $7 million. Is it $14 million? You start seeing the math, and so taking those 2 bays out there is $1 million, right? Where's the other $6 million coming from?
Well, I also have an issue with respect to your scenario, Jason, which is built at Park Street, building a separate building, leaving what we have there. I was not able to put my fingers on it, but we do have an engineering report about the structure.
Right,
at
I know you got
Park
flaws.
Street.
Yeah.
And that building, by today's standards, is unsafe.
Yeah.
So if we say, okay, we're gonna leave the garage and just build next to it, what we're doing is we're accepting that risk.
Yeah, oh,
And we're putting our employees in that building
right.
where it's not a risk for me, it's a risk for them. And I'm not comfortable putting an employee of mine in an unsafe building that I know is unsafe.
I get it, and that's the fork in the road for me, Paul, is if it was living quarters and overnight, and that's why I don't know, there are trucks there. If the roof blows down in the middle of the night and there's trucks, we still own it. If somebody gets hurt, I get that too. That's where that's the rub for me, is how do we, building's been there since 86 or
40 years.
right? So,
Well, think of it this way: if the proposal gets voted down, the building's going to still be there, and we're going to still use it for the
and it
next
can still
10
blow down
years.
in a year, and then we're
But
effed.
I think the thing that's more important is, would you rather continue using the garage over there, or keep the firefighters living in Center Street?
Right.
If you
we
have
already
to
know
choose,
that-
I'd choose to. leave
We already
the
know that
garage
if
there.
that, we've known for months that building's a liability, so anything from months ago to today and forward is, well, if it goes, it goes.
Well, we know the current building.
Why aren't we fixing it now, right? That's where it gets,
Kevin?
What?
I don't know, you got your hands on your head like you're in
That
pain.
shit gives me a headache.
yeah.
You know what I feel like? Chicken Little.
The sky's falling.
The sky's falling.
Yeah.
If 2 of the 3 of you actually believe any building you have is unsafe, you better take action to close that building right
Today, right.
Right now.
Right now.
And I don't, you know, I live in a house that
Because
can have a tree fall on it. I
It's
don't know.
recorded.
Yeah.
The public knows, we just heard that building's unsafe. The building's not unsafe. It doesn't meet what you would build today, but it does not have to. It just doesn't have to.
Right.
So we have an engineering vote on that building. Part of that is telling us how to fix it. So you can fix it. If it's that bothersome to you. It don't bother me a bit. I don't use it, but it wouldn't bother me if I was in there every minute of every day. Because the odds are in our favor. You know what? The snow load I've heard is 40 pounds. Well, guess what we get less of every year? Snow. And if we got so much snow that it became a concern, you know, they shovel the roof at Walmart, for Christ's sakes.
Why?
And you could do that one a lot quicker. I don't know where the idea came from that you just spoke of, Jason. I ain't here to steal your thunder. But that idea was floated so long ago,
Oh,
many times, and it's summarily dismissed.
to build.
So one
to build.
to build the site. You know what?
Yeah.
I'll tell you here and now, I will not support any plan that demolishes Park Street Station. I won't do it. That's simple.
I recall at the building committee meeting where I polled every member when we had the final Park Street design. Do you approve or not this design? And it was unanimous. Everybody, including yourself, voted in the affirmative.
We were talking about, I believe, whether we are following what they gave us. We are on target. We are gonna give you the best damn plan you ever saw. And if I'm gonna be a predictor, we're gonna get it handed to us again. One of the times I suggested almost what Jason just talked about, then we have to go outside to go back inside. What happens at home to people that have a detached garage? They go outside to do it.
Well, they're going outside to go inside now. They're driving down there and getting out and going outside.
And we have a problem, and I think it's, I'm not sure of the terminology, peak what? Peak,
Or you mean snow loading or?
no, relative to workload, call volume,
Oh,
peak. I saw it on a chart.
Peak hours or peak response
A
time?
piece of the day, it was a pie, a piece of the day where we're most active, most busy.
Yes.
It's a bar graph, I've shown
Yeah,
that.
it's a bar graph.
That does
Goes like
exist,
this.
right?
Yes.
it's like 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. seems to be the
Yeah.
hot
Shoots
spot.
up, rides, comes down.
And whatever percentage of the calls are medical are higher than anything else. Way back when, an idea was floated, build out Park Street, build another end of town for that period of time.
Right.
With a focus on whatever you do being able to be expanded properly.
Mm.
Someone asked me the other day, I was having a discussion about, well, in Laconia, they've been tearing down a lot of old buildings. The latest one is Harris Furniture. And they said to me, what kind of resistance are you gonna get when you wanna tear down that old fire station? I mean, is that do we have a feeling for that? Is that just gonna fly? And we don't have a historic district, I don't think. Does Tilton? I don't know.
I'm not,
But this guy is into that
Mike,
stuff.
What
and
did
he
we
said-
find out about?
The Center Street Fire Station's not on the historical.
Right,
historical-
okay.
That's what he was
historical-
talking
Yeah, it was.
It's not on the
Anyway,
list.
Center Street.
So,
get up to the prep school, it's a different story.
the committee is gonna give you exactly what you want. Exactly what you told us to do. We're doing a hell of a job at it, I think.
I think we're doing a great job.
I would agree, but it's what you told us to do. And I'm not here to say, damn it, you told me to do that. So, and we've changed our mind. I don't know many times.
Yeah, but when you get on the path and get on the journey, all of a sudden there's, things that come up that we didn't know, that you didn't know. You're exploring this path. Here's the finish line, but here are the curves in the road that.
So,
Yeah, no, I
Paul, I really think that what I'm talking about with you is that they gave us something to go towards. And to get there, there's a lot of stuff that if I was doing this on my own, it'd be a lot different.
Yeah.
But I'm part of the committee and we're doing what they want.
I believe we asked for a two-town solution on the surface. And I don't think we got into the details of what we were going to totally dismantle and what we were going to keep and not going to keep. But I believe the plan. All right, read it to me, Paul. I believe the plan was for a two-town solution for a 50-year. I don't know. Go ahead and read it. Let's get it into the minutes. We were looking for a two-town, right?
Would you like me to read it?
You know what? It's worth it.
This is a document named Recommendation to the Fire Commissioners from Chief Seatar, Deputy Robinson, and Deputy Baldani. It's dated November 12th of 2024, and the subject is Fire Station Plan Recommendation. This is the body of the document. Per the Commissioner's request, the Tilton Northfield Fire District Chief Officers have met and are providing our recommendation for a 2-fire station plan moving forward. Our recommendation is for a 3-phase approach. The first phase would be constructing a fire station on Sanborn Road. This station would have apparatus bays, support space, living quarters, and operational office space. Once this station is complete, Tilton Northfield Fire District Department will move all career personnel to the Sanborn Road Station. Tilton Northfield Fire Department will house all operations at this station until Phase 2 is completed. The administration would stay at Center Street until the completion of Phase 2. Much of Tilton Northfield Fire Department's apparatus that could fit in the station would be moved there. Architectural plans will show the actual square footage. That was Phase 1. Phase 2 would be constructing a fire station at Park Street. During this phase, all apparatus stationed at Park Street will be moved to Sanborn Road and Center Street. This construction may or may not include renovations to the current facility there. The renovation decision would be made in consultation with our contractor, Lorero Construction. This station would accommodate the department's administration and training facilities along with operations. This station would have apparatus space, support space, a training classroom / community meeting room, living quarters, and operational and administrative offices. Again, architectural plans will show the actual square footage. The third phase would be the demolition and paving of Center Street, then turning the property over to the town of Tilton. This phase would also see the appropriate apparatus housing at Sanborn Road and Park Street respectively as the chief sees fit. This phase would also move 4 firefighters per shift to the Park Street Station along with the administration. 8 firefighters must be added to the roster to staff the Sanborn Road Station with 2 additional personnel per shift. This 3-phase approach will meet the fire district's needs for 25 to 30 years. It is a balanced approach that, as close as practical, divides the department functions evenly between the 2 communities the district serves. Tilton Northfield Fire Department's call data shows that the exit 20 area and beyond has the highest call volume. With the continuing development of that portion of the district, that call volume will continue to increase. That is why Tilton Northfield Fire Department should staff the fire station on Sanborn Road. The fact remains, though, that the most significant fire danger lies within the downtown area of the village district. The downtown area is very tightly congested, and the buildings are more than 100 years old, with most of them having no sprinkler systems and many without fire alarm systems. Most of our schools in the New Hampshire Veterans Home are located within or adjacent to the village district. The Park Street 6 station is situated in the village district. Those dangers or risks are why the district must staff the Park Street station with at least 4 personnel on each shift once phase 2 is completed. We envision each station having 5 bunk rooms and 1 student dorm room. Additional living spaces include individual bathrooms with showers, a kitchen, a dining space, a day room, and a fitness room. All apparatus needs to be housed indoors. The Sanborn Road Station needs to house an engine, 2 ambulances, and a utility truck with a trailer. The Park Street Station needs to house 3 engines, in parentheses, an engine, the ladder, the tanker, close parentheses, 2 ambulances, and the utility truck with a trailer. Both stations will need support space adjacent to the apparatus room. Support spaces include turnout gear storage, decon, EMS storage, shop space, tool storage, and a half bath. Each station will need an office for the shift officer and an office for the crew to write reports into our records management system. The station that houses the administration staff will need a chief's office, a deputy chief's office, a fire prevention office, an administration management office, and an administration assistant office. Deputy Balvani should be added to the building committee to consider his views and ideas as we advance. The benefits of this approach are many, and there's 6 bullet points. Staffing 2 stations, 1 at Sanborn Road and 1 at Park Street, will reduce the time it takes Tilton Northfield Fire Department to respond to an incident. Tnfd can respond to more than 1 concurrent or simultaneous incident. 2 ambulances can be located at 1 station, reducing second call and third call response times. Call company personnel will be more integrated into incident responses. In an event if an event happened that restricted the use of one station, TNFD would still be able to operate out of the other station. The final bullet point is, will allow TNFD to add staff as needed to increase call volume. And it's signed by Michael W. Seatard Jr., the chief, Michael Robinson, the deputy chief, and Sean Balban, the deputy chief. So that's the document that we've been going by.
Okay.
That's our mandate.
So that was the recommendation to us, and we concurred, I think. I don't, and I'm kind of glad we read through it, because there's a lot to it. And I don't think at any point of that, it talked about tearing down the current building in Park Street. If I
Well,
listened correctly,
it left it open.
it
to
talked
the-
about building a facility at Park Street.
Which
It didn't
includes modifying.
modify or ignoring, or, but it didn't say we were gonna level
It said-
everything, it just.
I'll read the exact
Yeah,
sentence.
that's
It
where I'm getting
says,
hung up, Paul.
this construction may or may not include renovations to the current facility there. So there's no mandate to keep it, there's no mandate to tear it down.
It says may or may not
Yeah.
renovate.
Right.
Renovation
We could-
is not
You
demolition.
could build next to it and have a covered walkway to run into the building and get into the trucks. I don't know, I mean,
But the point is, $21 million.
yeah.
Ain't gonna fly.
Now,
Do we need to regroup?
Yeah.
Do we need to regroup?
How do we get exit 20?
You can put the $21 million out the draft, but
Let me ask you this, are you looking for my opinion, or are you looking for the opinion of the building committee?
Oh, I love them all.
as
You
do
know
I,
me.
in the
Huh?
work that they've done. And they've
It-
done what we asked, but it cost too much. Not their fault. We're at a turning point. I mean, throughout this whole process, I remember asking, people repeatedly asking, how much, how much, how much, how
Who-
much?
who was
Went on
here-
and on and on, and then all of a sudden
who
somebody
was in
said,
the room?
21 million.
Who
Uh-oh.
was in the room when the prep school property was $4 million? Raise your hand. You know, right? Who was here when the bunkhouse at Park Street was gonna cost $500,000?
$350.
Right? We were putting $100,000 away for, on the carrier watch, we were putting $100,000 away a year to, so, you kick, the more you kick the can down the road, the bigger the can gets, but.
Well, but I think that's why we're having the conversation, Paul.
Yeah.
I don't think any of us wants to go to the meeting and have it voted down.
What,
And
I
we'll
think
what's your opinion versus the committee, if they're
I
not
think-
aligned?
I think that if we go to the district meeting and our proposal is voted down, we've just lost between 5 and 10 years of resolving the issues that this was looking to resolve.
Yep.
My personal opinion is that we should go to the district meeting with a plan that has some viability and is capable of being passed. I would rather take our existing plans and say, we're not gonna propose these this year. Now that we have a firm, we will on November 3rd have a firm not to exceed number. Once we have that number, we make a decision. Do we move forward this year? If it gets voted yes, we're on our way. If it gets voted no, we've sacrificed 10 years. Or do we regroup and say, none of us had any idea that it was gonna be this expensive, and let's work another year, scaling it down and bringing it the following March. Because my personal opinion is that the proposal that we have right now will not pass at district meeting. Now, it has my full support because for the past 4 years, the past 1 year we've been working on this mandate. The previous 3 years we were working on a much different one. So I am very confident that what we've done meets this recommendation, but I also feel that it has no chance of passing. And I'd rather, if this building committee is dissolved in March, I'm not gonna participate in another one. This will be my 3rd strike. I'm out. Now, I'm just saying that so that everybody is aware. I'm getting worn out doing this. I think what we need to do is blend this document with the documents we have from Lorero, make a more palatable presentation, and move forward with that. The building committee's opinion, I don't want to speak for them. As the chairman of that committee, I think we've supplied exactly what you've asked for. Personal opinion, don't bring it to district meeting next year.
And I think a lot of us, and the building committee as well, I won't speak for anyone else, but and the commissioners, I think we would echo that maybe in different words, but so my thought is, all right, so what does that look like moving forward? What are the steps and what do we do?
My problem is if you trim $1 million off a building, go back a year later, it's gonna be $1 million more in cost.
Could be.
You know what? It's like kick, you know? Oh, we made it smaller. Oh, now next year it costs what it cost the year before for a bigger building. That's the big sell. That's the problem to get to the public, to the voters, to say, listen, it's never going to be less expensive than it is today. So we got to find something sooner than later that meets our needs, that meets the charge, and get in. Because you want to wait another year, the smaller building's going to be more than the bigger building. You know,
Yeah.
I've watched this happen on sewer projects where we wait a few years and the cost of the project doubles. We go from 2 to 4 or 4 to 8. We're, prep school, $4 million, right? Doors on both sides. Oh my God, that was a deal breaker because it was doors on both sides of the building. And well, now we're looking at an $8 million substation. We got to somehow we have to get to a point where we use our history to predict our future. We have to say, listen, this is where we've failed in the past, and look at ding, 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 and here's where we're trying to go. And look at all the opportunities we had. And now we've got this. In another year, it's going to be there. I don't like it either. You know, I mean, well.
Can I make a suggestion?
Sure.
I say we have to wait till November 3rd till we get that number and look at that and perhaps have the public hearings and get the input from the general population. They'll tell us what will be acceptable and what won't be acceptable. And then after those public hearings, decide what you want to do after that.
Then the rubber hits the road when it's, you're right. That was kind of where I was going with that, Mike, was the public view is what they can or can't.
And I agree with you, Paul. Part of that public hearing has to be, this is what the three chiefs put together as over 100 years of experience in firefighting. This is what they feel that the district needs that's reasonable. I don't think either one of us thought that we were going overboard with anything that we said in there. I think we would try to be very, it might have been a little too wordy in there, because it's almost 2 pages long, but it was complete, I thought. But there may be another way to go that we haven't discussed, but maybe we should find out after after the public hearings. I mean, I think to come this far and not have the public hearings.
You mean
would be
the
a farce.
outreach session?
Yes, public outreach sessions, that's what I mean.
Yep. I just wanted to make sure it was straight in my
Yeah.
skull.
I don't operate in this space. I feel as if the Sanborn Road footprint kind of does what it needs to do. And if it's a little big, I'm okay with a little big, because 50 to 100 years, a couple extra bays to me are not the end of the world. If we gotta move stuff around and we don't know, if we want a ladder at exit 20 because of the vehicle accidents and the equipment that's on that for extrication, and I don't know enough about it, but an extra garage spot is not a killer for me, but it hits the points of housing, and giving these guys a comfortable place to live and eat and live, it's, it is what it is, and it costs what it costs, and I don't think it's extravagant. And for anybody else to come in a public hearing and say it's the Taj Mahal, I've heard those arguments. We've heard those objections at other buildings and other projects and other stuff. It's like, it's really not that.
But all that.
It's not that far-fetched. It's like, let's just be state-of-the-art. Let's just be kind of best in class. We already have the talent that's best in class. Why not give them a building that matches the talent and the ability and the response and the things
It's
that
not
we're
gonna
good at?
change anything.
Hmm?
It's not gonna change anything. And we're proving that daily,
Yeah.
when we operate at the level we do,
Yeah.
out of that shithole
Right.
at 12 Center Street. You build any building you want, ain't nothing gonna change.
Well,
As far as the quality of our service.
I've had captains tell me
And that's a problem.
trucks don't save lives, trucks don't do
They
the
don't.
job, it's the guys, right? But you know what? We take care of the guys with the trucks so they can go to do the job. We have been holding back on these friggin' buildings for decades. We gotta move forward, and I'm not saying that's like, the plan at Sanborn Road. Hey, you know what? That's gonna do the job, and we'll never have to worry about it for the next 50 years or so. Park Street, it's, to me, it's a roll of the dice. It's, how do we get, because we don't know what we need there yet. But listen, we want to take care of the buildings. We want to have the call guys. We have training. We got to get headquarters and admin there. We have to get a footprint over there to maintain. But present day, first 3-year plan, we got to run the business the way we're running the business.
But we gotta get lean,
Yeah.
and we gotta provide that also.
Yep.
And I think right now we're looking at an Escalade where an Explorer might work.
Yep.
I always wanted an Escalade, but it didn't make sense
Yeah.
for me.
Go with the Tahoe.
And we'll go with the Tahoe. And we gotta get lean, because you know what? Got nothing.
All right.
And we haven't had anything,
Yeah.
that improved living quarters in the 48 years I've been here. And it's been no 10 times. We gotta get lean and get something better.
We gotta get I just don't, I'm not sure about the transition to
Well-
B, but, you've said 2 towns have to get in on it, right?
You ain't gonna hang, you gotta have 2 in here. Because one town ain't gonna let you build there and not build up there.
And that's the rub, right? Like,
That's the problem.
all these plans they've all been further from my house, so I don't really give a rat's ass. It's just, everything's been built further away from where I live, because I'm, on the Franklin line, but,
I always said the fire station was the F-150 we needed. It wasn't the Escalade. It's an F-150.
Well,
Yeah.
It's a work truck.
Exactly.
what I would like to ask is if the chief and the 2 deputy chiefs would vary this in any way, knowing what they know now. And that's not something I'm looking for an answer right now, because I would expect it to take a significant amount of thought and,
Do we think they know something now that they didn't know then?
how expensive it is. They definitely know that.
They know that.
That's,
But when, no, these people are hardcore. They know what they're doing, they know how to get it done.
and I'm
And
not,
this is what they believe in their heads, they need to do the job. You can't fault them for that.
I'm not faulting
No,
anyone,
I'm not saying,
I'm
but
just,
we've thrown that word, I don't like that word fault. There's no fault. There is none. Because you fill a room with people that get different opinions. They're different, not necessarily right, wrong, or is anyone at fault. And I know I have a little bit of a pissy tone sometimes, but I don't ever mean we're, you know, I'm saying I hate you, we're all in this together, but guess what?
I don't know how much I'd change, Paul, because a lot of that is a generalization. Gotta have bathrooms, gotta have a place to sleep, gotta have offices for these people. But let's get lean. Does the office have to be this big? Can it be that big? I know we're just making it a little smaller.
we
You know,
worked a significant amount of time on reducing the dorm sizes in the office space. A significant amount. We went from 10 by 12 dorm rooms to 8 by 10 now.
So
I don't know
those
how
are
much-
important notes along the way, when you get to the meeting or the public hearing stuff. That's important data.
Yeah.
You know, I've been on committees and you guys have to share that, say, listen, hey, we started with that, this is what we feel is the, you know, the minimum
I
thing.
think we're around 10,000 square feet reduction. I haven't run the numbers, but from the original plans.
Yeah, that's about right, Paul.
And we reduced, with Lisa's prodding and guidance, Park Street from 2 stories to 1.
Well, and then there's all the little things along the way, you know, we're just gonna do concrete floors in the finished area. We're not putting any flooring down.
Yeah.
You know, it's not like we haven't talked about and thought about those.
Yeah, you're not bringing in Italian marble or, you know,
Wallpaper
or even
walls.
epoxy floor or anything,
No,
right? Yeah.
But there's also one very telling sentence in this recommendation. And it's something that needs to be considered because it's part of the overall picture. And that is 8 firefighters must be added to the roster to staff the Sanborn Road Station with 2 operational personnel per shift. So, if we need those 8 additional firefighters, there's no way they can shoehorn themselves into 2 more men per shift into Center Street. So if our personnel count is gonna increase by 2 per shift, we can't have them sleeping on the sidewalk.
No, it would be 4 at Park and 2 at Sanborn.
and the intention was those people would be added once the project was complete.
Correct.
And that's-
Once phase 2 was complete.
And 3, that's like a 10-year window, really.
Probably
It's-
not.
Well,
Closer-
8.
Closer to 5 or 6.
Yeah.
6 years, this is a done deal. Everybody's here, the buildings are either up or they're not.
Yeah.
This is not,
The other thing about that is, we really need those guys now. Call
So in
volume,
5 or 6 years, we're still gonna need
You're
those.
still
guys.
gonna need them, and you need them probably even more. Call volume just keeps going up and up.
We identified the need for the 4th guy at 1600 calls a year. We're gonna be close to 2,500 this year. I mean, that's another third over.
I was the first budget committee, I don't even think we had 24-hour full-time staff. Day. Yeah, I mean, it
We had,
was,
we had
we had two,
day coverage.
and then we had a third, and then we went around the clock, and then,
Is it-
and then Safer came.
Would it be valid to just take a minute, take a deep breath and look at what I don't know what it's really called, the business model? Why do we do what we do and how do we do it? The biggest nut we crack is
EMS.
EMS and transportation. We're gonna have 3 ambulances that, what, $600,000 a piece?
For
Or 26 for this new one.
We paid $285 for the last one, the one we just ordered was damn near $600.
Because it had to get ELF,
For-
had to get,
That was all the.
Oh,
fully
excuse me.
certified.
All the stuff.
you know.
It needed stuff, you're right. You're right.
That's a lot of
My
rolling,
mistake.
a lot of rolling. So why do we do that? Who said we were gonna do that? That was a great idea when it happened. You know, nothing lasts forever. The more things change, the more they stay the same. There are many organizations that provide EMS. They don't transport. You got to service 2, 3, 4 hours. Why do we do what we do?
But if 70% of our business is in EMS, and we can build the heck out of it and pay for our engines and ladders and ventilating, all the respiration.
You're not
and all
covering
this
the cost.
Hmm?
You're not covering the cost.
We're covering more than the cost. We're putting money in the bank to buy shit
If
for
you
the
were
next
covering
20.
the cost, there'd be no tax bill.
We're not covering all the personnel. We're not
Covering the
covering
cost.
the admin because the fund isn't
And
wired
you
that
won't
way.
cover the cost with 8 more people and 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5 more ambulances.
All right, so we
You'll
trim
never
off.
cover the cost.
So trim off the ambulance portion, stop the runs and stop the billing, and now we still have a tax bill because we're going to pay some third-party sucker out of Meredith to run and charge us a flat rate whether they run or not.
The largest overhead is employees.
Largest over. Well, if you want to go to a private ambulance service, no guarantees.
What do you mean
And
no guarantees?
who's the best in the business right now?
I gotta believe it's transformative healthcare.
And what do they charge for a contract with the town?
I don't know, you could ask.
No, I'm asking you. You do your homework, Kevin. What's the numbers? What do they charge a town to run ambulances? Flat rate, before they even get on the road.
I bet it's less than we spend.
I'm asking you right now. Tell me. Don't
I-
bet.
I-
Tell me.
I don't know the number, and it's not my
You don't know the number.
It's
That's
not-
the first friggin' time I've heard you not know the number.
And it's not my job to know the number.
No, it
It's
isn't.
your job to find
No,
out.
no, you brought it up.
What? Maybe you ought to think outside the box then. I did bring it up. I come from a town where that happened, still happens. We do it because that's what we do and for no other reason. It's never been investigated with any great
Do you feel
importance.
we're losing money in the ambulance service? Do you feel that the ambulance and apparatus equipment fund that you signed and you chartered and you pushed for
I was-
is not making us money?
No, we don't make a cent. We generate revenue. We don't make any money.
Okay.
No municipality
Then why
makes
did
money.
you charter for that and push for that when you at the
Well-
onset of that fund?
It's a good. It's a good way to pay for your equipment, but the problem with that is it's been changed how many times. It's not what it originally was.
How many
meant to be.
times?
3, 4.
We
Twice.
bought trucks and now we pay for maintenance on the trucks.
And
We might have allowed for training for guys to get certified as a paramedic
and now
because we can bill at a higher rate for the paramedic rate,
you can, but you don't always need that.
but we bill quite a bit because not everybody has the paramedics that we have.
I just suggested take a look at the
Okay,
business
well-
model and figure out why we do what we do. Because the only thing we change is the amount of money we spend. We do better, and I'll go head to anybody that thinks they have what we have. there's some departments around that got some damn nice equipment. But look what we got. We got damn nice equipment.
We got damn nice talent. And the
That's
equipment
the-
doesn't save lives, it's the
It
guys
does not.
on the
We got-
trucks.
That's what I said.
We got-
I'll go ahead and do it anyway. Who
Yeah.
thinks they have better than what we've got, or do better.
Right.
I don't care if it's.
I don't care how shiny the trucks are.
But when we do, why do we do what we do? Other departments don't do it and get along fine, and other companies actually make money doing what we do.
Not 911 service. Nobody makes money in 911. Not even stewards. I know that for a fact.
Well, that may be just because that's all we do. But that company turns a profit because
They're doing scheduled transfers. That's where they get their money.
I don't know, it seems that we are very good at a lot of things. And one of the things we are very good at is spending money. You know, it's,
All right, well, I'm not sure the commissioners are tonight interested in talking about changing how we do business, but thank you for bringing it
I'm
up.
sure you know. But until you are, nothing will change.
Right. All right, so so it's the general consensus that we'll let the process continue moving forward. We're gonna get pricing by November 3rd. We're gonna have the two public
hearings.
outreach.
Yep.
And then we'll reevaluate as to how we feel best to move forward to get a positive outcome. Is that fair?
As a note, currently we owe, per our contract, $95,126 for the railroad. They billed everything up to that amount so far. I'm sure there's another bill coming, but I don't know when it's going to come. It'll probably be for public outreach, which is $10,000 worth of it, and maybe other stuff as well. I'm not sure, but I think the contract goes to the district meeting to bring a project to district meeting, but that's the balance that's in that fund right now.
Was it 95?
95,126.
That's the balance in the fund, or that's the bill?
Billable.
That's
Yeah.
what's left and what's in the account. That's what's left in the account, and that's what's left to be billed as well. We did at the last district meeting, we appropriated enough to make sure that we could.
So we're out of money?
We'll be out of money at district meeting.
Unless we build a new building after November. Right? There could be some engineering changes if we get good public outreach and good comment.
For the design portion.
Right, so their contract gets us to the district meeting, and they've been billing us at increments along the way. Okay. Ready to move on?
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay, thank
Can
you.
I, before you move on, can I ask for some comments from Mr. Ogier, because it's been very quiet. I'd like to know how he feels about this
To be honest with you, Paul, you know, I know you guys have worked hard on it, but there's no doubt in my mind this will never pass. Never. Never.
Because of the price.
Because of the price.
So,
I mean, they are beautiful stations, there's no doubt about it, but
do you have any input as to how we can progress? Because I'm always looking forward. I want to know the next step. And I have in my mind what the next step should be. I'd like to hear what the next step is in your mind.
I guess find a way to reduce the cost. I mean, that's all I can say. I don't know how, but there's got to be a way.
And what's the target? Or what's the threshold between passing and not passing in your mind?
You say the threshold, what do you mean?
The target, what would you like it reduced?
I think somewhere around, you know, I was thinking somewhere around maybe 12 to maybe 15 at the most. 15 at the most. Now, what if you went to them and say, you know, we could probably appropriate $15 million, how can we get to that point?
Well, for them, it's gonna be very easy. Reduce square footage, eliminate one building.
I think that would be a dangerous thing to do.
At the end of the
Hey, I
day,
got 15 million building something.
at the end of the day.
I'm not saying you have to tell them that, but you know, I mean,
Well, at the end of the day, all the railroad has done is what we'd asked them to do. We just didn't have a handle on how expensive it was gonna be.
yeah.
All right, anything else, Paul?
No, thank you.
No, thank you guys. Thanks for being here. Thank you.
The last thing about the guaranteed maximum price is what it is. Guaranteed maximum price. It can always be less.
How often does that really
Yeah,
happen?
it's pretty rare.
Well, they built in like in the pricing, there's cost of living index increases, which are somewhat higher than what we've been experiencing the past couple of years. So,
Very seldom do you have something done, they say, somebody comes back and say,
Here's your money back.
"Hey, here's your money back."
well, if there's any money to be saved, we get all, the district gets all of it.
Yeah.
The railroad gets none of it.
All right, let's move on to Chief's report.
Right, I emailed out the chief's report yesterday. Today, Kathy informed me that there was some errors in it, and I found out why there was errors in it, but besides these errors. So what I passed out to you today is the corrected version.
What's this Chief's report for September 2025?
For
For the end
through
of
the
month.
month of September.
Okay.
And so, if you like, I can go through it, or would you just want to read it and then ask questions?
No, well, I thought it was interesting that we actually used a fire hydrant.
With brush fires.
And then the EMS incidents were, as a percentage, were down quite substantially, but I assume that was partially because of all those brush fires and miscellaneous items like that. I know it's in the agenda.
Yeah, the grants thing kind of answers what the agenda is asking for at the same time.
Do you have the final numbers for what that fiber link costs to put in?
No.
One of the other things that was brought up that we wanted to, the captain's assessment for next year.
2 years from now.
2 years from
Oh,
now.
it's 2 years from now?
Yeah, it's every 2 years.
I think that some of us would like to witness, participate, or maybe participate's not the right, but observe.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
I think you wouldn't be able to observe the oral board or project presentation, but the scenario portion, you'd be more than welcome to observe.
So if,
I know I talked to Jason with the email,
Yeah, I think
and
it's,
I think that'd be fine.
Yeah.
There'd be no problem with that. It's every 2 years, so unfortunately it's not next year, but
is it just our department, do you invite other departments?
So-
Given the staffing and
so
complexity
what,
and all that.
we invite other departments to be the evaluators. Our department administers it, but we have no grading in it, and we have no. I shouldn't say that there is a small five-point portion for the captain's grade, and then the chief's allowed to pick the top two
Yeah.
and move the top two around at will without per policy. But we invite 9 people in, and we've been having discussions about only having 6 there during the day, and changing the project portion. But this year we had the 9 people come in. It was we try to include somebody from each town. We had Scott Hilliard from the town of Tilton. We had Ross Cunningham from the town of Northfield, and then we had 7 fire department related, chiefs, captains, and one lieutenant from all the way from Derry to Guilford to
Right.
come in. And so those 9 people come in, and those are the graders. But
Yeah.
everything else is done by the
But
TNFD
the
personnel.
candidates being assessed are only ours.
Correct,
Okay.
correct. It is
You're not running a,
we do not run the assessment center for everybody else.
okay.
No.
Well, I wasn't sure if they were
Yeah,
busy too.
every department runs their assessments
Okay.
a little
Yeah.
bit different in how that occurs.
And that's, the date for that's sort of a plan once you're able to coordinate getting everybody together.
Yes, usually it's end of September, beginning of October. We try to do it sometime in there. You get it after the summer where everybody's vacations are done.
Yeah.
But it's so it's kind of you kind of get the this is my second one I've run as the deputy chief, and you kind of get a sense of who you want to bring in, what dates they're available, and then you kind of lock in the dates. And once you lock the dates in, you usually lose one person. You could add somebody.
Right.
So how many went through? We said 6 or 9.
We 9 outside evaluators.
No, how many internal candidates?
Internal
were-
candidates. We had 4 apply, 1
4.
drop out, so we had 3 go
Three.
through. 3 go through the
Okay.
process.
What's the status of our current call company? How many members? You have.
I think 14.
14.
Lost
Because we had one, we
We
lost one.
lost
gained
one, but we gained one.
Or did we? We might be 13.
Right, there's 13.
13, yeah, because Brian was the 14.
Right.
Yeah, so down to 13 again.
You wrote a note about that fiber link?
Yes, I
Sure.
got it right here.
Thank you.
Sorry, I didn't have that.
No, that's okay. Any other questions on it? Paul?
All set.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
We need to change the meeting date for November.
You do?
Yes. The 11th is a holiday.
Well, for some.
What holiday is it?
The
Veterans
Veterans
Day.
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 What is it, state holiday in federal? I work 3 months. Doesn't matter.
I worked Columbus Day, and half the world was offline.
What do we have on the 12th? That's a,
That's the budget
Budget
meeting.
Budget workshop.
and the building committee is,
13th.
didn't we have one earlier than that?
In October. Next,
It's
on the
23rd.
22nd.
We have one on the
23rd,
23rd.
27th?
You have one on the
23rd and
22nd,
27th.
the 23rd and the 27th of the building committee.
Yeah.
The 22nd is the budget workshop.
I can do Monday. Do you have a conflict on Monday?
Not in November.
Monday,
The
I,
10th.
the 10th is on, I can't do the 3rd though.
Right, because you're not here. You're unavailable.
The 3rd?
Yes, you told me you were unavailable
Yeah.
on the 3rd.
Does the 10th work?
Yeah. I can do that.
Right, can we move it to the... What's on the 12th?
You're working on the budget? That's the budget
The
workshop?
budget building, okay.
Right.
All right, 10th?
All right.
Find the room and confirm.
I will.
Thank you. All right, Lake Estates Communications update, report, CO, anything to report on that?
The there's 2 different communication systems. You asking about the VDA that was holding the CO up, or
What is
the
that? Sorry, Sean, what does that stand for?
so bidirectional amplifier. It's actually that's not the technical word for in the code, but it's the easiest to say.
Yeah.
So the bidirectional amplifier is a radio system that needs to be provided by the occupancy to increase the radio communications inside the building for our emergency channels.
Okay.
And so that is completely separate from our outside, well, it uses our outside radio, but it affects only the inside of that building.
And
that
they,
was,
and they paid for that.
they paid for that.
That
We
was
100% paid for them.
Yeah.
We have no cost involved in that. That has passed. I was gonna move their CO inspection date up. They asked me not to. The Lake Estate, so I'm going, I believe the 16th is that Thursday, to do the final CO on that building.
And then they were gonna tweak the other antenna system.
The other antenna system, I don't know, that's more of the
It was
chief.
actually the BDA system that they were tweaking
Okay.
because of our other radio system with a receiver at the hotel with the antennas on the roof. Once that was up and live, that's when they could tweak the internal BDA system to make it work.
And that's all happened.
It's all happened and it's working
Everything's up and
perfectly.
running.
Yeah. And I tested that. I don't know what day
It
we
was
tested.
last Tuesday, they did Tuesday.
Yep. Went down, tested all the different areas within the building.
So, beyond all that, their CO, beyond the radio stuff, it was just, must have been just some,
They have 26 open violations, but they're all little, you know.
like, door swings and.
Yeah, it's
Okay.
all little stuff. So I had a critical list and I had a non-critical list.
Yeah.
They had to complete the critical list to open.
Yep.
And then we give them a temporary CO. And because of the BDA system and a few other things, we've extended that temporary CO. But they're open, they're operating.
Yeah.
It's a safe building. It's not an unsafe building. They just have some violations they need to clean up. And I believe they're done. We have a puff test for the third kitchen system on the 16th. And that's why they wanted to wait. Because they were like, we're not going to be done anyway because we have to get this puff test done. That's on the hood system.
Yeah.
For the Ansel. So we're
Yeah,
going to do
yeah,
that
yeah.
puff test on the 16th. And
So just, it'll all get wrapped together.
it'll all get wrapped together. It's just easy instead of keep going back and
Oh,
keep
yeah.
going back.
Okay.
All right, thank you. Any other old business? Or did you have something more, Chief?
No, I don't know if we've made this thing, but the unassigned fund balance is at $413,517 from the audit, from the 2024 audit,
Which is,
which is pretty good, and we're close to 10% of where we would like to be, which is better than where we were last year. So I think a lot of that has to do with the water district thing being settled and funds being released to go towards that. I think we got money back from Westcott Law that went back into that, stuff like that. So
what was that dollar amount?
413,517.
Okay. Can we move on to new business? Surplus items.
So I put the TNT rescue tools on Municipid. It includes cutter, spreader, ram, 2 reels, a electric pump and a gas pump, and then 2 also cords. We received a bid today. It was funny because it was the first time there was a bid at the end, and it actually extended about 45 minutes for $1,578 for those tools. I was a little disappointed in the price. I thought we were going to get more for those tools. I called our salesman who sells those tools, and he said no one's buying corded tools anymore, and that's the problem. Everybody's buying the battery operated tools, and that's he was surprised we got more than $500 for them, honestly. So I received that bid of $1,578 through Municipid. My recommendation to take it only because I don't know what else to do with the tools.
Yeah.
It was on there for 2 weeks, and
I would make a motion if we need to accept that bid and move on, get the bid locked in.
Okay, we have a motion. I'll second it. Any discussion on the motion to accept the bid on the equipment? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye. Aye. So you complete the,
I'll complete that tomorrow.
Trailer's gone.
Trailer's gone, trailers in Pennsylvania, I got the plates back, everything, they were very happy with it, and they changed the tires in the parking lot,
Right.
got it out of here, and they went all the way back to Pennsylvania. So unless you're gonna go about 600, he's way out in Pennsylvania, 600 and something miles, I think he said it was.
all right, any other new
Allegheny
business?
Mountain somewhere.
That's a big space. I sold a sucker truck, got their truck to Pennsylvania. And that's a long ride. That's a big state. Good luck.
All right, any other new business?
We got the health insurance rates. So, pleasantly surprised. I was expecting health insurance rates to go up somewhere near 15–16%. The group, in our group, we're in the January grouping, and the percentages in January were anywhere from 3.7% increase to a 35.6% increase, with an average of around 8% increase. Our increase for next year is 4.5%. Dental went up 4.4%. Short-term life went up 5.5%. Long-term and life insurance stayed the same. And one of the main reasons for the increase that we did get, and that everybody got, is that they have to rebuild their reserves. And a lot of that increase is due to the reserves that they have to rebuild from COVID. And they're well funded. They're like, if you look at the school plan, it's a disaster. Everybody that jumped to the school plan is getting big time assessments now because they don't have a reserve fund that's adequate, and they couldn't pay their bills. So they assessed all the communities in the middle of the fiscal year thousands and thousands of dollars. So,
All right, so you'll have that into the budget worksheet?
yes, that's being moved in.
All right, any other new business?
That's it.
All right, approval of minutes. Starting with September 23rd.
Please.
Hmm?
Please. I did not include them in the parts because I didn't know if you wanted to do them in the memo. No. I've got them. You might want to.
All right.
I make a motion we accept public minutes 9/23/25 as written.
Second.
Okay, motion's been made and seconded. Is there any corrections? I didn't have any. All right. Hearing no further discussion, all those in favor of approving the minutes of 9/23/25, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries. All right. Public 9/25.
I make a motion we accept the public meeting for 9/25/25 as written.
Second.
We've got a motion made and seconded. Is there any questions or issues? That one was pretty straightforward.
Yeah. Okay.
Anything new? No. All right, so motion made and seconded. All those in favor say aye to accept the minutes of the 9/25/25 meeting. Aye.
Aye.
All right. October 8th. I'll make a motion to accept the minutes of the commissioners meeting for October 8th, 2025.
Second.
Okay, motion made and seconded. I have one correction. On page 3, under budget line item 430.02 Park Street Station. Captain Ames's name is spelled wrong. Is that supposed to say Captain Ames?
Let me see. Yes.
What's the only?
She pushed to get those done before she left.
Well, it's spelled correctly one other place in there, on the previous page. I don't have a problem with anything else on those minutes. Any issues? All right, so we have a motion made and seconded, with that one correction. All those in favor of approving the October 8th minutes, 2025, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries. All right. Do you want to do the non-public and non-public?
I don't care. That's probably,
Yeah, let's do that in non-public.
Yes,
Is
I
there-
recommend that.
All right, is there any other business before we go into non-public? All right, hearing none. I want to go into non-public.
Okay.
Trying to think which one I need to go.
thank you, Paul.
That would be
You're
A.
welcome.
Are you sticking around or coming back or do you want to?
If you're going in non-public, then I'm non-public. Unless you're telling me I should stay.
I don't know, you had indicated maybe that you wanted to.
I'd like to.
All right, we're gonna go into non-public, so we're gonna need the room for like 15 or 20 minutes.
Okay.
But then we'll invite, well, we'll figure out what we're
Yeah,
gonna do.
sure.
All right.
I'll be in
Personnel.
my truck.
Old bird?
Yeah.
Okay. Truck of the week.
There you go.
Today is the 14th. All right, motion to enter non-public
Sure.
made by
You got it.
Jason.
Which one are we doing?
A.
A.
All right, seconded by
I'll second it.
Paul. RSA 91-A:3, Rule 2, bracket A, dismissal, promotion, or compensation of any public employee or the discipline of such employee or the investigation of any charges against him or her unless the employee affected, one, has the right to a public hearing, public meeting, and two, request that that meeting be open, in which case the request shall be granted. Roll call vote, Paul Ozier.
Yes.
Tim Shatley, yes. Jason Wright.
Yes.
All right, we're gonna enter non-public at
7-11, 9.
7:11.
7-11.
7:11 p.m. Just hit, it's still saying pause, so
Yeah, just hit record.
perfect, thank you, Chief.
Brilliant.
So this is the Tilton Northfield Fire Commissioners, October 14, 2025, coming out of non-public at 7:50 p.m. Motion to seal the minutes.
Yes.
Yes, motion made by Jason,
I'll second it.
seconded by Paul. Render proposed action ineffective. Roll call vote to seal the minutes. Paul Ozier.
Yes.
Tim Shatley, yes. Jason Wright.
Yes.
Motion passed. All right, well, thank you for bearing with us. You need that back.
Yes, please, thank you.
All right, were they looking at minutes? What were we,
You've got the minutes
right here.
in front of you.
Okay. So we have how many
Three.
sets?
I think.
I got 4.
4. Sorry, it's 4.
Yeah, I got a 1, 2, and a 1 and 1.
Yes,
3 days.
yes.
Okay.
Do you need a motion yet on the first one, or you still?
Can we do them all at once, or do we have to do them separately?
However you guys wanna do them.
Do it all at once.
Okay, and some of these are, those are
Yes.
sealed, are these all sealed?
So I believe they might be,
Yes.
so you'll want to reseal them if you want, if you wanna keep them sealed.
For now. Alright, so, Paul, did you wanna make a motion to approve all these minutes?
Make a motion, we approve all the minutes, September 23. '25 and October 8th.
Alright, got a motion, is there a second?
Second.
Alright, we have a motion by Paul, seconded by Jason to approve the non-public session 1 minutes of September 23rd, the non-public session 2 minutes of September 23rd, the non-public session on September 25th, and the non-public session on October 8th. Is there any corrections or comments? Alright, hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. Is there a motion to continue to have these minutes sealed?
Yes.
Right, motion,
Second.
motion been made by Jason, seconded by Paul, that we continue to, or have the minutes sealed for those 4 sessions. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
3 sets.
Alright, so now we need to go into non-public for disposition.
Yes, everything's right here. Thank you.
Alright, today is October 14th, 2025. Motion to go in non-public made by
I'll make a motion, we go non-public.
Paul, seconded by
Jason.
Jason. And this is for RSA 91-A:3, Roman numeral 2, bracket C, matters which if discussed in public would likely affect adversely the reputation of any person other than a member of this board. Unless such person requests an open meeting, this exemption shall extend to include any application for assistance or tax abatement or waiver of a fee, fine, or other levy if, based on inability to pay or poverty of the applicant. Roll call vote to enter. Paul Ogier.
Yes.
Tim Chatler, yes. Jason Wright.
Yes.
Right. The meeting will be going into non-public at 7:55.
Click. It's the red light.
All right. 8:03 p.m. All right, this is the Tilton Northfield Fire Commissioners meeting on October 14th, 2025, coming out of non-public session 2. All right. Any other business? All right, entertain a motion to adjourn.
I'll make motion, we adjourn.
Second.
We have a motion made and seconded. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. Meeting's adjourned at 8:04 p.m.